2 weeks before my wedding, my fiancé dragged me into couples therapy. I walked in thinking we'd talk feelings. I walked out single, wedding canceled, and her therapist on my hit list. And the best part, I had the whole thing recorded. My fiancé had been protective about therapy for months. Suddenly she wanted me in the room, last minute, urgent. That alone felt off. So I hit record on my phone before I even parked. Self-preservation, not paranoia. Turns out it was instinct. I waited 20 minutes in the lobby like a patient dog. Then the therapist finally called me in. She shook my hand and smiled too hard. We did small talk, fake polite, awkward air. Then she glanced at my fiancé and said, "This may be harder than we thought." My stomach tightened, but my face stayed calm. The therapist leaned forward like she was delivering wisdom. My fiancé grabbed my hand like we were a team. Then the therapist said, "We lived in a modern world." She said my fiancé wanted a non-traditional marriage. In my head, I pictured career talk and independent stuff. I was so innocent, it's embarrassing. Then they said it. Slow, clean, rehearsed. After we got married, she wanted to sleep with other men. Not maybe, not someday. Right after the vows. A nice little perk, just for her. And no, I didn't get the same deal, because that would break her heart. She said another woman might steal me, so her plan was, she sleeps around, I stay loyal. They smiled like they invented fire. I let them keep talking. They got bolder with every second I stayed quiet. You could hear the confidence rising in their voices, like they'd practiced the speech in the mirror together. Then I finally spoke. "Are you licensed?" The therapist blinked, like I slapped her with paperwork. "Yes," she said, forced smile cracking at the edges. I nodded and turned to her like she worked for me. "Great. Explain to her why we're done." My fiancé squeezed my hand harder, like that would control me. I pulled my hand back, stood up, and smiled politely. "Good luck," I said, and walked out. No yelling, no debate, just a door closing. By the time I got to my car, my whole body felt light, not sad, not angry, just clean, like I'd stepped out of a room full of gas. That night, I replayed the recording, over and over, and suddenly, all her late nights and vague stress made sense. It also hit me that she might have already cheated. I couldn't prove it, but the math felt ugly. People started asking why the wedding was off. Friends, family, my parents. I kept it simple. We had a deal breaker. I wasn't trying to turn my life into a courtroom, but my ex was already doing damage control. She blew up my phone, then my best friends, then my brothers. It was the therapist's idea. I didn't even want it. "We can fix this." It sounded like a drowning person grabbing ankles. I also canceled everything. House loan talks, shared plans, financial ties. If love was a house, I pulled the power and locked the doors. Then I talked to a lawyer I knew through work. He thought I was joking until I played the audio. His face changed halfway through. He pointed out something I missed. The therapist kept saying, we decided, we want, we think. Not your fiancé wants. Not, she asked me. Just, we. So I did what they didn't expect. I documented everything. A letter to the clinic. A letter to the accreditation board. Time-stamped summary. Exact quotes from the session. And I wasn't alone either. A coworker dug up reviews on that therapist. Bad ones. Repeated patterns. We found 2 former patients willing to sign statements. Their stories were different, but the vibe was the same. Agenda first. Ethics last. A week later, the clinic called. Not my phone. My office. Their lawyer sounded tense and careful. Then I heard someone in the background whisper, "Well, crap." That's when I knew it landed. Meanwhile, my ex tried one last play. She showed up at my parents' house with her parents like it was an intervention. Perfect hair. My favorite perfume. Dress. I once bought her. A full reset button wrapped in lipstick. She handed me her private journal and cried, "Read it. It'll explain everything." I didn't even open it. I just looked at her and said, "This isn't a book club." Everyone stared at me like I'd kicked a puppy. So I took the journal anyway, just to end the scene. She promised me control of everything. Money, devices, location tracking. Like handing me a leash would fix betrayal. It didn't feel romantic. It felt desperate and wrong. I sent the journal back untouched. Signature required. Clean hands. A few days later, I got the update I didn't ask for.